You from a very, very wet Bryant Stadium here in Bryant, Arkansas for the season-ending clash between the Hornets and the Benton Panthers. Why do they play in conditions like this? I don't know. Look at the players behind us. They're having a ball. Going through pregame drills. We will have football tonight, regardless whether the field's flooded or not. It's a big game. A playoff berth is at stake. John, what do you think? I think Benton's probably the favorite coming in, but I don't know. These Hornets seem to be fired up.
The weather could be a great equalizer tonight. Both teams have a lot to play for tonight. Benton's had a better year, but Bryant's coming into this game fired up. And as I said, the weather is going to make a big difference tonight. If Benton can get the running attack going and Bryant can get the running attack going, it ought to be a pretty good match.
The weather conditions, of course, will change game plans tremendously. Look for very few passes tonight. Quarterbacks simply won't be able to hold on to the ball, or it'll be waterlogged. They couldn't throw it very far if they tried. The ground game will be important, and of course the rain will figure in the mistake category. Look for problems hanging onto the football tonight. Turnovers could be the decisive factor. So as you can see, a very, very wet field. Looks like this rain will not let up anytime soon. It should be an interesting end to this 1986 season. We'll have more pregame.
Hometown.
Back at Bryant Stadium for tonight's game featuring the Bryant Hornets and the Benton Panthers. Dry up here in the booth having the toss of the coin out at midfield. Call the captains for you in a moment. Bryant has won the, or I should say Bryant has won the toss, deferred to the second half. Bryant will be kicking off to Benton, and the Panthers will have the ball to start this game. John, the captain.
Scott Zotti and number 44, Corey Hill, and for Bryant, the captains are number 20.
It's here in Saline County. It is indeed for a playoff spot. Let's quickly give you the starting lineups as we have time here. First of all, for Bryant, we'll give you the offensive lineup first. Across the line, the tight end is Chris Lane. The tackle, Mark Elder. The left guard is his brother, Todd Elder. Center is Bill Kaiser. Right guard, Kyle Reed. Right tackle, Brian Mertens. Split end is Sammy Thomas. Hornets led on offense by quarterback Chet Gordon. He's only a sophomore. Fullback is Mark McKinney. The tailback, Brian Brady, and the flanker, Jimmy Johnson. Of course, the Hornets coached by John Brainerd, who's been here since 1979. On defense for the Hornets, it'll be Lane, Chris Lane at Wycliffe. Second time we've seen them this season. The tight end is Scott Long. Left tackle, Scott McAdoo. The guard, Paul Viner. The center, Scott Zotti. The right guard, Ken Burnett. Right tackle, Tim Thompson, and the split end, Robert McNeely. They're led by quarterback Tommy Jumper. The fullback is Stan Carson. And the halfbacks, they will run out of the wishbone, are Corey Hill and Brian Callahan. On defense for Benton, quickly, it'll be Trop, Kelsey Dedman, Burnett, Scott Long, and Bobby Van Cleve along the front. The linebackers are Callahan and Hill. The corners, Jeff Brooks and Craig Lincoln. And the safeties, Tony Wright and Robert McNeely. Just about ready to get this game underway on a very, very soggy Hornet field here tonight, though the rain is letting up just a little bit. I'm telling you what, this field is saturated, and it will be a big difference in the game. They squib it, brought in, up the middle, and he's loose. That's number 1 with the ball. And we'll have to check our rosters here for you. Forgive us if we're a little slow on calling some of these names here tonight, especially on the specialty teams, because they did not provide us with a game program. Something, I guess, they just didn't have time to print them up. The Panthers have it at their own 45-yard line, or just shy of it. That's Jumper at quarterback, and he hands off to Corey Hill. Both teams will keep it on the ground for the most part tonight, one would think. Give him a gain of about 3 yards up to around the 47.
Ben's going to have to depend a lot on their offensive line. They're going to have to do a good job opening up the holes for their fullbacks.
Second down and about 7 from the 47. The rain comes down. Hill again up to midfield and into Bryant territory on about the 49. Corey Hill. Corey Hill is a big, strong runner. Interestingly enough, John, this is, I think, only his second year of organized football. He didn't play until they asked him to come out here just a couple of years ago. But he's a good, big, bullish runner. And we saw him rush for over 100 yards against Arkadelphia earlier this season. Third down now and about 4. And this is Brian Callahan. Callahan fighting for the first down. See if he picked it up. He gained the 45, and they may have to measure it. They're going to bring in the chains. They mark it just shy of the 45-yard line. John, I would think that the players are going to come.
Benton's a little bit short. They're it's about 6 inches short of the first down.
See what Coach Dwight Fight of Benton chooses to do. They're going to go for it. He believes in Hill and Callahan. He thinks they can pick it up. The Hornets dig in a little bit tighter on that defensive front. Jumper, and they are offside. Somebody's guilty of an infraction. We'll see who it is. Somebody jumped. And the Hornets think it'll go against Benton, and probably will. Illegal motion.
Looked like Benton's right guard jumped off.
And that will, of course, make the decision a bit easier for Coach Fight. He'll probably bring in his punting unit, and they'll kick it away from the 50-yard line. Again, these conditions we are experiencing here tonight, I would imagine not exclusively ours. I would think that it's raining pretty much statewide, and a number of these important games being played around the state tonight are having to endure very rainy and soggy conditions. Panthers get it away, almost blocked. And it's taken in on the knee. Flag down. They're going to probably call running into the receiver. An accidental play, I'm sure. Called for a fair catch. John, looked to me like the Benton defender just kind of slid into him by accident.
It's going to be really hard for both teams to try to keep from.
Now they step off the penalty 15 yards. I believe that'll put it just over the 40-yard line. So good field position for the Hornets here. This series is not that old. This is the 13th meeting between these two Saline County high schools. And Benton has the upper hand in the series over the long haul. They've won 9 of the previous 12 games. Up the middle it goes. That's number 33 with the ball for Bryant. 33 is Mark McKinney, the fullback. He's hit and pushed back after a gain of about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 from around the 42-yard line. They're led by quarterback Chet Gordon. He's just a sophomore. Gordon hands it off to 22. This is a tailback, Brian Brady. Brady carries up to the 45-yard line, bring up a 3rd down and long situation.
63 for Benton. Bobby Van Cleve got a hand in to trip him up.
Looks like it'll be 3rd and about 4, maybe a long 4 from the 46. Fumble on the play. I believe that's a quarterback falling on it. Chet Gordon. Both teams struggling to get anything going here early in this ball game, and that's not surprising considering the weather conditions. We've seen the first of what I think might, and there's another fumble on the snap. Benton's going to benefit from this. The Panthers fall on the ball. We'll probably see a lot of that tonight.
They marked it at the 35-yard line. Big break for the Benton Panthers, but as you said, I think we're going to see turnovers all night long. and especially with as many punts as we're going to see tonight.
So Benton, beneficiary of excellent field position here. Tommy Jumper brings his team back out on the field. 1st and 10 from the Bryant 35. This is Jumper wanting to pass. Jumper is going long, and it is well overthrown. Both players fall down, and they have flags. I think, again, I would call that incidental contact. These players just trying to keep their footing, and it's impossible to do that. They both just lost their footing and slid into each other. But 2 flags went down. A little surprising, John, that Dwight Fye would go for the BAMM, considering the fact that we do have such difficult conditions, but Jumper got it away in good shape. His receiver just couldn't run under it.
Just going for that surprise play, you're expecting the runs right up the middle of the line, and maybe he was hoping that John Brander's defense would be looking for a run all the way.
Well, because of the penalty, they mark it off against Benton. Offensive pass interference, a tough call. And they put it back on the Benton 49-yard line, just shy of the 50. Jumper with it across the middle, complete. Good catch that time by the tight end, Scott Long.
Jumper has an outstanding arm. He put a lot of zip on that ball, and that says a lot considering how wet that ball must be.
Long made a good catch, a gain of 10 yards to the 45-yard line of Bryant. Bring up 2nd and 15. Jumper keeps it. Jumper gains 6. Bring up about 3rd and 9 from inside the 40. Excuse me, on that penalty, I gave them, it was a loss of down, but they are inside the Bryant 40, and they are going to disdain the punt. Here's Jumper faking beautifully, passing, complete, Scott Long, and he looks to have the first down. Good fake to Corey Hill. The Hornets bit the bullet and went for the handoff, and Long was open, and the tight end has made 2 big receptions, and the Panthers keep this drive going.
It'll be 1st and 10 at the, and when you consider that they, for the most part, had to drive 25 yards in 3 plays, they did a good job.
Jumper gives away to Hill this time. Hill over the 20 to the 19. 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter. No score. 2nd down and about 8. Give us to Hill. Hill running room over the 15 down to the 14, maybe the 13-yard line. The Benton line.
Receivers.
3rd and about 1.5. Not quite 2 yards needed for the first down. Callahan, a late handoff, and Callahan just kind of dove into the line there. We'll see if he gained the first down. It'll be, looks to be a little bit short perhaps. On about the
Bryant's defensive line, good job blocking up the holes.
Another 4th down situation for Benton. They converted a 4th and long a moment ago. They're going for it again here from the 13-yard line. This is Hill. He's got it, and he slides inside the 10-yard line. Corey Hill. Again, the Panthers began this drive following a fumbled snap on a punting situation by the Hornets. And they've overcome a big 15-yard penalty in the process to drive down inside the 10. Here's Corey Hill sprinting to the outside. He's stopped after a gain of maybe 1. Several Hornets converging on Hill that time. Number 85 was in there along with some others. Looked like Chris Lane, 85, was in, and maybe the other end, Billy Plant. It'll be second down and goal. Second and goal. Looks like it's on about the 7-yard line. Here's Callahan. Callahan diving and getting only about a yard. The Hornets getting tough now inside their 10-yard line. That's number 44, Lance Smith, and 80 long. Jumper keeps, he's in the end zone, touchdown. What a hole he had. They went for the pitch man, Corey Hill, and Jumper kept and just scooted in untouched from 6 yards out. And it comes with 3:08 extra point. Bad snap. Brian Callahan picks it up. He does not get into the end zone, so the extra point fails, and it is Benton 6 and Bryant nothing. We'll be right back for Benton after the Panthers drove 51.
That's right, Kim. 51 yards in 11 plays, took up 5 minutes off the clock, and a 6-yard run-in by Jumper.
Scott Long, and again another kind of a squib kick, hard to hold on to, believe me, down around the 20-yard line. That's 42 on the run back for Bryant. Johnson, I believe. Yes, Jimmy Johnson on the run back. And the Hornets have it. Looks like it'll be just shy of their 35-yard line. About the 34.
I believe that's a 24.
Okay, yes, indeed. 24-yard line. Handoff straight up the middle, going nowhere. It's number 33, Mark McKinney.
And number 77, Kent Burnett, for Ben, did a good job making the stop by himself.
It'll be 7-10 from about the 24-yard line. Gordon passing incomplete.
I don't know if
Difficulty gripping the ball. 3rd and 10 now. Chet Gordon, the quarterback. Bryant at its own 24. He just gives off to the tailback, and he has a little bit of daylight, but then the hole is plugged quickly. That was Brian Brady on the carry.
the Bryant offensive line did an outstanding job getting off the line and opening up a good hole for him. The only thing that stopped them was the Benton linebackers were looking run. They were able to come in.
Hill. Standing back on his own 17-yard line. He gets it off. Decent kick, all things considered. Taken in and fumbled. And Bryant's going to get the ball. Coming up with it, 69 for the Hornets. We'll see if we can check that number. Mark Elder. Mark Elder coming up with the ball. Gordon back in there. And he pitches it back to the tailback, Brady. Brady hits the sidelines and has running room. Sloshes out of bounds. Corey Hill and Callahan, the linebacker, 2nd and 4. The ball inside the Benton 35 on about the 32. Fumble. Big pile up. And Benton comes up with it. What'd we say about a lot of turnovers tonight? From Texarkana and defeating Hot Springs and Watson Chapel. So they've beaten common opponents and lost to common opponents. Okay, the Panthers have it. Corey Hill, a big run. Hill still on his feet. An excellent run by Corey Hill, just slipping off and breaking arm tackles. And John, on a night like tonight, you can't hit your man high because there's no way you're going to hold him.
I tell you what, Corey Hill had a big hole open up for him, and it just became a foot race. The only thing that stopped him from scoring was number 4, James Smith, and he did a good job just getting his body in front of him to trip him.
The ball now on the 43-yard line of Benton. First down. This is Callahan. Callahan up to about the 47. It'll be second down, and that is the last play of the first quarter here from Bryant. With our score, Bryant nothing. We'll be back. First play of the second quarter, Benton with it, second down from their own 47-yard line. This is Hill. Hill stacked up. Gain of about 2. He was lucky to get that much.
Bryant's defensive line doing a good job compensating, looking for that run. They managed to block up all the holes, which is doing a good job against that big Benton offensive line.
Third down and about 4 from the Benton 49-yard line. Jumper drops back to pass. He lofts it up. Incomplete. 2 receivers and 3.
It's just going to be a matter of if one team can make the big play, because I really don't see any team being able to carry any sustained drive tonight.
That's Long dropping back to the 35-yard line. Low snap, good rush, gets it off, and it will be allowed to roll dead by the Hornets. So Bryant gets it back once again.
And once again, Bryant was very close to blocking that punt. Benton's 16-yard line.
Okay. First down from the 16. This is Chet Gordon giving off to the tailback, Brady. You know, John, against Arkadelphia, I was really impressed with this Benton defense, even more so than with their offense. Arkadelphia scored 3 touchdowns in that ball game, but I think some of them came on home run plays, and Dennis Browning, of course, took advantage of the Benton secondary. The Benton secondary just could not handle Dennis Browning while on the ground, as evidenced by that last play. Second down and 8 after a gain of only 2 by Brian Brady. Brady trying to hit the sideline, knocked down. 4. Give up the middle of the fullback, and enough for the first down over the 25. That was Mark McKinney.
Bryant's offense is doing a good job against a real tough Benton defense. Their offensive line appears to be getting off.
First down from the 26. Give up the middle. That's Kevin Johnson, a substitution in there now. Number 45. 45's in there for McKinney. McKinney's 33. And now big rush being applied. Blindsided is the quarterback, Gordon. And they're going to call it a fumble. They're going to call it a fumble. And I must admit, John, he was going to pass. I couldn't tell if he was hit before his arm moved forward or not.
I don't know. From here, you know, you can't really do anything but second guess, but it looked to me like his arm was going forward to pass it.
A questionable call, a quick decision by the officials, and they give it to Benton on the 30-yard line. Bryant fans not happy with that call at all, and now Corey Hill has it. Benton, who rushed in there, you saw him. You saw him, I saw him, but unfortunately Gordon did not see him coming at all, and Trop got in there and forced that fumble. Second down now for Benton, second and about 7. The rain comes down again. Here's Jumper, and Jumper's leveled. In there, number 69.
That's Mark Elder. Boy, he hit Jumper hard too.
Be third down now, third and long for Benton. Third and about 8 yards needed. Ball's just inside the Bryant 30-yard line. Wishbone attack for the Panthers. Jumper wants to pass. He has all kinds of time. He's going long. Knocked away. Incomplete. Intended for Scott Long.
37, Mark Sykes got his hand up there to tip that ball. Excellent job defending the pass. Coming down.
And again on fourth down, the Panthers going for it. Fourth and about 8. Flags down. Looks like it's going to go against the Panthers. 6:48 left in the first half, and Benton still leads it 6-0. Bryant has been generous all evening long, turning the ball over on its end of the field, but so far the Panthers only able to take advantage of one of those mistakes. 5 yards stepped off against Benton. Still fourth and about 14. Pitch back to Callahan, who wants to pass. And the man falls down, the ball's incomplete. The receiver just fell down. So the ball goes over on downs to the Hornets. Conditions are the ally of both defenses here tonight. Okay, Gordon with the ball, so again another turnover does not hurt. Gordon wants to pass, gets it away, and incomplete. Intended for number 20, that was Sammy Thomas. But Thomas just couldn't hold on to it. Just couldn't hold on. 2nd and 10 from about the 33-yard line. Brian Brady with it. Brady over the 35, and a gain of only about 2 or 3. Be third and call it 7 coming up. Make it 8. 3rd and 8 from the 35.
He would have picked up more yardage, but Benton's linebackers did a good job waiting back, looking to wait to see how that play would develop. And they were able to move right up there to make the stop before more than 2 yards had been picked up.
Flags down. Illegal motion against the Hornets. The first penalty stepped off against Bryant tonight. Out. They've come prepared for the elements, and they've got a fairly good turnout here tonight. 3rd and long. Complete. Little lateral back to Brady. Brady fighting. He will be stopped shy of the first down, but a neat little play. That was Sammy Thomas taking the pass. And then, of course, Brady trailing the play all the way. That was a design play for Thomas to lateral back to Brady, and good call. Picked up, about 10 yards on the play. It'll be 4th and about 3. And the Hornets not going to chance anything on their end of the field. Punted away here. And he gets it off. It's going to bound into the lake.
Now the question is, where's the out-of-bounds line?
And they're going to mark it. give Bryant the call there. They're going to mark it inside the 35 of Benton.
You have to admire that official.
Put it down.
And it's starting
in the second quarter. Yes, it is. Very hard. You can probably hear it out here. And you can very easily see it on your screen. This is Corey Hill. Hill has running room. Corey Hill may be the difference in the game tonight. He's the biggest offensive threat on either team. And Hill picks up the first down over the 45.
88, Pat Dyer made a shoestring tackle on Hill. Did a good job getting him. Otherwise, it would have been another 6 points for Benton.
Ball on the 46. First and 10. I believe this is Callahan. Nope, check it. That's number 30. Brooks. Jeff Brooks in on that play, and he carries up over the 50-yard line. It'll be second down and about 5 from that point. Corey Hill. Hill inside the 45, down to about the 43. Excuse me, John.
He's close to a first down, but as you said, Corey Hill very easily could be the difference tonight. He's doing a good job finding that hole and moving through it, and he's got such good positive acceleration that it doesn't seem like the wet turf's really affecting him.
I was about to say the only question is, will Benton be able to beat the clock? We have 3.5 minutes to go. But this is an impressive drive to this point. Hill, good defense that time. He only gains about 3 yards down to the 40. But it is enough for another first down. And the rain coming down now about as hard as it has all night long. Moving down toward the 3-minute mark of this first half. Benton on top, 6-0, looking for more. This is Callahan, number 22 on the carry. We've just been informed by the Benton statistician that Corey Hill's last carry gave him more than 1,000 yards on the season, so indicative of the type of season he's had and the importance he plays in this Panther attack. Second down now and about 7 for Benton. This is Hill, stacked up, no gain, it'll be third down. And the rain is pouring. I mean, it is literally pouring down. And these people here, you've got to give the fans credit for coming out for this big game.
We've been really fortunate all year with the weather. 2 weeks ago in Malvern, we had rain most of the day and a little bit of drizzle, but it's been holding out very well for us
The only time it's rained on our broadcast all season long. The only time. I guess it had to catch up with us in the last playing date of the season. Third down. Jumper to Hill. A hole, but not enough for the first down. He gains about 3. Has nothing to lose, really. Jumper keeps, jumper dives for the 30. We'll see. Good call. He thinks he got it.
It looked like Corey Hill was surprised. The fake handoff was to Hill, but it looked like Hill had no idea that from him.
They're going to bring the chains in. Make sure. See where the mark is. The nose. I mean by a nose. Man, look at the official getting down there on that. It's about at first down. They gave it to him. Had to be less than an inch. You always wonder, John, on a play like that, the official just kind of puts it down in the vicinity. where the knee went down, and Benton definitely got the benefit on 4th down of that placement. Down to 1:08, the clock still runs. Working our way down to 1 minute left here in this first half. Here's Hill. Fights his way down to about the 26, but they're going to start using their timeouts now.
Ken, I don't think we're going to have much of a halftime show tonight.
I don't think we'll have any kind of a halftime show tonight. We apologize to our fans for that, but the bands, I don't even think they're out here at all. Usually on a night like tonight, bands don't even bring the gear. 34 seconds, 2nd down for the Panthers. This is Callahan. He'll be close to another 1st down. And now Dwight Fite calls a timeout with 21 seconds left. Vince. See if Jumper puts it up. Tries to draw Bryant off sides, can't do it. Corey Hill will not go anywhere. I think he fumbled the ball. Hill fumbles and Bryant recovers with 13 seconds left to go. Well, John, unofficially, I believe, if memory serves, that's 3 turnovers for Bryant and 2 now for Benton.
That's
here
right.
in the first half. A competitive game, and I think the conditions a big reason why. Benton took advantage of one of those Bryant fumbles. Bryant nothing. We'll be back after this.
But 11 plays in 5 minutes, went 51 yards, and finally the touchdown came in with Tommy Jumper running it in from 6 yards out, went for the extra point, and had a fumble on the snap. And
Fans, of course, performing here tonight because of the conditions, and we're just about ready to get the second half underway. John, it's been a good season, though, hasn't it? We've gotten lucky a couple of times and had some real exciting games.
We really have. When we put the schedule together, we tried to pick out the games that would have the most interest and would be pretty good matchups. I think that some of the games that we came across, like the Glenwood Mount Ida game, and last week the Hot Springs Elder Texarkana, that's right. Games that you may not have expected at the beginning of the year to be very good turned out to be a couple of great games, big upsets.
Indeed they did. We started out on a great note. Fountain Lake beating Mountain Pine to start the season on a last-second pass. Won that game 14-9. We was taken off from there. And Bryant kicks off to Benton, and this second half is underway. Panthers fumble the kick, but they pick it up, run it back, and the man's free. Look out here. Is that Hill? Corey Hill? Check it out. We're having trouble with our video here.
Number 24, Robert McNeely.
Okay, McNeely on the run back, and he sprung through a big hole about the 20-yard line. And Benton will have excellent field position. I think they're going to put it down on about the 49 of Bryant. So a big run back, crediting with about 35 yards on that run back. Tommy Jumper again, the quarterback here for Benton. Panthers lead it 6-0. This is Corey Hill. Hill tripped up at the 45, dives to the 42.
Almost this entire game has been played on the Bryant side of the field, and you really can't expect to win if you can't keep driving down on to your opponents. You can't keep defending your goal.
It'll be 2nd down and about 4 from the Bryant 43-yard line. Just underway, 3rd quarter. Give is to Callahan. He's tripped up, stopped shy of the 40. That's 23, or 29 rather, getting up off the tackle. Elder, I believe I heard the man say, 69. I think Elder might have changed jerseys, John. He has 29 in there. Of course, there is also a 29. Eric Knowles is 29, Elder 69. 3rd down and 2. Here's Hill, and he just lunges over the 40. We'll see where they spot the ball. They give him the first down. First down from the 39-yard line. I guess it started raining again a little bit here. Most of the umbrellas have gone back up. Benton with it, the initial drive of this second half. Give us to Hill. Hill has a hole. Corey Hill into the secondary down to the 25-yard line.
Finally brought down by Mark Sykes. Had to come up from his free safety position. Well, I tell you what, Hill, once he gets moving and gets his feet really up to speed, he is just one hard guy to draw down.
They put it down on the 26. Another first down for Benton. Panthers already lead it 6-0. Hill inside the 25, just twists, does a 360 and falls to the 22. Again, that Benton offensive line doing a job for Corey Hill, opening up some big holes in there. Ken Burnett, of course, is one of your all-conference players, number 77. He's the one of the tackles on offense, right guard. The other is Tim Thompson in there, right tackle. Scott Zotti, Paul Viner, and Scott McAdoo, the interior linemen on Benton's front, and they're opening those holes for Hill to run through. Callahan with it.
Kind of a strange little draw play. Not really sure if that was by design or if you're just kind of surprised that Callahan was the first man through.
Looks like it'll be third down and about 3. From the 21-yard line. This Callahan. Got another first down, third first down of this drive. And the rain comes down again. Look at it come down here, boy, just all of a sudden.
Well, they marked the ball down at the 16-yard line.
Little lightning in the distance. Benton driving an impressive drive. Keeping it on the ground exclusively here. Give is to Callahan. Very little, maybe a couple of yards, down inside the 15.
Marked it down at the 14. Will bring up a 2nd and 8.
We're under 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Benton's already killed almost 4.5 minutes on this drive. 2nd and 8. This Corey Hill with it. Hill's not going very far. Give him a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd and about 6.
You know, it's a real shame, though, that a game of this importance is played in this sort of conditions. There's nothing you can do about it, but, you know, you'd like to see both teams able to play into the best conditions possible.
That lets them open up their offenses a little bit more, be more freewheeling. Hill gains down near the 10-yard line, but Hornets believe they've stopped him shy of the first down. They needed to gain about the 6 and a fair tonight. Rain comes down. The Panthers going for it here on 4th down as Burnett was helped off the field. Jumper wants to pass. He's got long. It's intercepted, though. Intercepted. 37 for Bryant coming up with it.
That's Mark Sykes. That's Benton's 3rd turnover of the night.
Jumper looking for Scott Long at the goal line, and Sykes just went up over Long's back, went high, and brought it in. So it was 4th down, John. Good as a punt, I would guess, in a sense. Benton comes up empty, but the Hornets have to start this drive just on about their own, what is that, the
4-yard line.
On the 4? 96 yards away from trying to tie this game up. Now, I'm not sure. I can't see the quarterback here, so I don't know what's happening. You'll have to call that one for me, John. 22 on the carry. Okay. For Bryant. That was the tailback, Brian Brady. Get our act together here. It'll be second down for the Hornets. Again, the quarterback is Chet Gordon. Brady has it again. And he carries up near the 10-yard line. It'll be third down. Well, John, you have to give that Bryant defense a little bit of credit. Thought the Panthers might drive in and put this game away, but they were unable to do so.
Well, when you're only down 6 points, you know, one big play is a difference.
We have 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Third down and long now for Bryant. The give is to the fullback, up the middle. As Mark McKinney on the carry.
That's going to bring up a 4th and 2 from the 14, and the punting team comes onto the field.
David Stewart is our chief engineer, and of course our cameraman, one of our 2 cameramen on our games throughout the season. And of course David came to Arkansas from Colorado and points west. You familiar with rains quite like we have here in Arkansas? You enjoying this weather here tonight?
No, I prefer the snow. You can just brush it off.
We tend to have these regularly here. You'll get accustomed to them this winter. And Benton didn't even have anybody deep. They just let him kick it away, and what a punt. What a punt. Of course, got a nice little bounce there, but
that's close to a 64-yard, 65-yard punt.
Line of scrimmage was right about the 10, and they're going to mark it down on Benton's 44. No, check that.
35.
34-yard line, just shy of the 35. So the Panthers not coming up with a field position I'm sure they thought they might receive after holding Bryant down deep. Jumper is back at quarterback. Give straight up the middle. It's number 21. Dennis Little now in there and carrying the ball for Benton on first down. Give him very little, maybe 2 yards, second down and 8. Give us to Corey Hill this time. And Hill gains up over the 35 to about the 39.
Bryant's defensive line starting to look for Hill a little bit more. They're able to shoot the gaps a little bit and get in there and block Hill's running room.
Benton leading it 6-0. That first quarter touchdown standing up here. You know, there's one saving grace to that fact, John, that if the game ends this way, and thanks to the fact that Benton was able to score, we don't have to worry about overtime tonight. Very little up to near the 40-yard line. It'll be a fourth down situation as Benton not trying anything fancy. It'll bring up a fourth down and a punting situation as Callahan only gained a couple of yards. And a driving rain now on the field, just coming in sheets. That'll be Scott Long dropping back to punt. And Bryant, as Benton did a moment ago, doesn't even put anyone deep. They're not even going to try and return it. Shanks it. They're just going to let it roll. And they're going to mark it down. We'll see where they mark it. If our cameraman can find the ball.
About the 34-yard line.
Okay. 34-yard line. We've got 2.5 minutes left. We'll be back with Benton 3-yard line. This is Chet Gordon, and he gives off to Brian Brady, and Brady is dropped for a loss of about 1 yard. Bryant, so far in this game, John, I would guess, would be lucky to have as much as 40 yards of offense. They just have not been able to move the ball all night long in this Panther defense.
As we said before, the only one that's had any sort of success on offense has been Corey Hill. He's been running wild tonight.
It'll be second down, about 11 from the 32. This is Gordon wanting to pass, incomplete, intended for number 4.
It was almost picked off by number 7, Stan Carter.
Stan Carson?
Carson.
Stan Carson defending for Benton. And that was number 4, James Smith, the intended receiver. It'll bring up third down. Third down and 11. That's Jimmy Johnson in motion. Gordon going across the middle. Intended for Chris Lane, the tight end, but there are flags down. Holding indicated against Bryant. Interesting call here for Benton. Do they force him to punt on fourth down now, or they go ahead and step it off? They're going to step off the penalty. Oh, excuse me, that was not holding. It was a delay of game call, delay of game. 5 yards stepped off, and it'll be third and about 16. Working our way down toward the end of this third quarter. Gordon being rushed. He gets the pass off. It is complete. An excellent over-the-shoulder catch. That is 22. Brian Brady bringing it in.
That's one for the highlight film. He did a good job tipping it up and picking it up on the way down.
And Gordon lucky to get that one off. He had a big rush. Wonder if we have flash flood warnings out tonight. First down. It was good for the first down. They just give it off up the middle.
Should have put out monsoon warnings tonight.
You check that line of scrimmage right about the 40, I guess, isn't it?
I don't
about the 40-yard line.
I don't think they even gave him a yard on the play.
Second down. Brian Brady gains about 6 yards. And that is the end of the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of 3 with our score, Benton 6 and Bryant nothing, but the Hornets are moving. We'll be right back after this. Bryant nothing. The Hornets, though, have put together their most impressive drive, and they overcame a 3rd and 16 situation. They've moved the ball up into Benton territory. In fact, the ball now on the Benton 43. First time I think the Hornets have been in Benton territory all night long. That's Gordon, the quarterback, and he gives off to Brian Brady, who drives down inside the 40. John tells me it's good for another first down. You know, I feel for the officials almost as much as anybody. They don't have their slickers on. You know, officials can wear raincoats out there, but these guys are breathing it just like the players. And
Ken, I feel for the cameraman who's strapped to 110 volts of electricity in this.
I think the man upstairs is watching over him. First down from the 39. Brady has it. Benton just can't, fumbles the ball. It's loose. Still on the field. I was about to say it is getting very difficult for the defense to make any kind of a tackle. There's just no way to latch on to those running backs, as slippery as they are out there right now.
That was 72, Kyle Reed for Bryant, picking up the fumble from his guard position.
It'll be third down. Third and about 5 needed here.
They'll bring second down.
Excuse me. Lost a down there. Second. Here's Brady. He's down inside the 35 to about the 32. Long on the tackle for Benton. Now it's third down, 3rd and 3. The Hornet cheerleaders down here on the sidelines encouraging the team to pick up this first down. Fumbled snap. The ball is loose. There's a big pile up. We're going to give it back to Bryant. So on 2 consecutive plays, the Hornets fumble, but come up with their own fumbles. Now it'll be 4th down. John, you said it best, I think, a few moments ago. It's a shame this game, or any game of this magnitude, has to be played in conditions like this. It just takes the teams out of their offense. They're not able to do anything with it. And I'm telling you, it's still a very close game, but these teams are just trying to survive more than anything else. The Hornets punt it away. Carson receives it for Benton.
They marked it down at about the 7-yard line.
We've got 9.5 minutes left. The Panthers have it, and they'll probably just try and grind it out on the ground, pick up a few first downs, run some of this clock. But, John, if anything right now, the Hornets have obtained something they haven't had all night long, and that is field position. If they can hold the Panthers here, force a punt, they should get the ball back in excellent field position to make at least one last try to score. Tommy Jumper, the Benton quarterback. He keeps it. Gets a good run out of it. The 2nd down.
Ken, what you're saying about field position, Benton has started drives at the Bryant 49, at the Bryant 35, at their own 25, at the Bryant 30, at their own 34. So as you can see, almost every drive they've had it at least close to midfield.
Until now.
Until now.
And now it'll be 2nd down and 4. Jumper keeps again, has excellent running room. Some good holes opening up for quarterback Tommy Jumper. He carries out, I believe that's, what, 15-yard line? 20. No,
25.
25.
We have, like, no yard markers out here anymore.
At the 25-yard line, so a good run by Jumper, and he picks up the first down. So that's about 16 yards and 2 carries for Jumper. Straight up the middle, Corey Hill. Give him 2 yards, 2nd and 8. And we now have 8 minutes left in this ball game. Jumper keeps, hit, drop for a loss. Or call it no gain, actually. Got back to about the line of scrimmage.
Number 77, Stephen Berry. And I believe that was number 85, Chris Wayne, both in there make a tackle.
So third down now. Short yardage runs by Hill and Jumper. Third and long. And now there's movement. 71 for Benton jumped.
So that'll mark off 5 yards and bring up 3rd and 12. Third and 11.
They put it back down on the 23-yard line. Corey Hill with it. He'll gain back up over the 25, gets about 3 or 4. It'll be 4th and very long. And the punting unit comes on the field once again, but Benton was able to pick up a first down and kill about 3 minutes off the clock. We have 6.5 minutes left, and Bryant, if they're going to try and get in this game, they'll have to do it on this possession, one would think. Clock and time becoming a factor. Hornets again don't have anyone deep. They've got one man standing about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Long will get it off. And they just let it bound around, takes a nice little bounce. It's going to die on the 39-yard line. Go check that.
The 29.
It's impossible to read those yard line markers out there. On the 29.
So that was about a 45-yard punt, 46-yard punt.
And they got 20 yards on the bounce. "71 yards away from evening the score. Chet Gordon, the quarterback. Give to the fullback, that's 45, Brooks. Check that. I believe the public address announcer said that was Johnson, number 45, Johnson, and not Brooks. Second down, 2nd and 6 after a gain of 4. Fumble. Another fumbled snap. Bryant has done that frequently on the last 2 possessions, but they've been able to come up with 3 fumbles here within the last 2 possessions.
I think that's their 5th fumble of the night. They've lost 2, and they've managed to recover 3 of their own.
John, actually, they're putting it down so often I've lost count. But it brings up 3rd and 6. And Benton in there quickly. Oh, Corey Hill in there, and he leveled Gordon. No one touched Corey Hill. And I'd say he'd have to be our player of the game so far, John.
He's done it both on offense and defense. Really, we hadn't called his name that much on defense, but that was a big, big play.
Well, he and Callahan are a great linebacker tandem, and it's been their play in the secondary that has played a big role in this game. So it brings up 4th and a punting situation for Bryant. High kick. It's going to hit down at about the 50.
Number 42, Craig Lincoln for Benton, almost blocked that punt.
And we've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes left in this game. Benton has the ball and the lead, 6-0.
49.
Bryant, 49-yard line. Jumper calling signals. It's Callahan. And we're down under 4 minutes, so again, that last possession by Bryant was crucial because they may not get the ball back. Remains to be seen. And of course, Benton now has the field position on the Bryant 46. A Tommy Jumper 6-yard run for a score in the first quarter, standing up. It's been the only score of the night here at Bryant Stadium. Second down. Corey Hill over the 45 down to about the 42. And that'll bring up third and short.
They're going to call it 3rd and 2 from the Bryant 43-yard line.
A first down here might ice it for the Panthers. Callahan has the first down and more. Callahan brought down near the 30-yard line. And that should just about do it. We have 2.5 minutes left. They move the chains and start the clock once again. Jumper keeps it. Tommy Jumper has lots of room. Tommy Jumper down deep in Bryant territory, knocked out of bounds across the way.
Looks like about the 9-yard line.
And the Benton faithful across the way cheering their team on here.
22-yard run.
A 22-yard run for Tommy Jumper. Where are they going to mark it down? On about the 9, or is that just inside the 10, I think?
Right at the 9.
It's Corey Hill over the 10 down to about the 7. And we've got 1:50 left, so the Panthers may knock it on in here. A big run by Jumper, and the Hornets call timeout. Benton leading its unit. It'll be second down for Benton. Still plenty of time for them to knock it in the end zone. Ball on about the 6-yard line. Jumper keeps it. He's knocked back. 69 in there for Bryant.
That's Mark Elder. Good job of shooting between the guard and tackle.
And now another timeout taken by Bryant this time. Clock running.
Well, they're looking at 3rd and goal from Bryant 14. That was a 7-yard loss.
I will not be participating this year. Looks like Lake Hamilton and Lakeside will have to stay home. But we do have a good number of teams from the viewing area advancing on tonight. And we'll be following them with a lot of keen interest. Okay, here we go. Jumper on 3rd down, looking to loft it in the end zone. Touchdown. Scott Long, I believe, the tight end. Number 80, they've been trying to go to him all night long. And Long was able just to elude the secondary, run under it. And so late in this ball game, with 1:30 to go, the Panthers strike for the second time. An impressive drive, John. The Panthers got it back with only like 3.5 minutes to go in the game, and in 2 minutes they moved it about 50 yards. Got to be impressed with the Panthers on that drive. I really didn't know if they'd be able to knock it on in or not. Now they're going for 2. Jumper gives off to Hill, and he does not make it into the end zone, but it's really academic. The Panthers leading at 12-0.
Ken, that drive went 49 yards in 7 plays, took up 2:15 off the clock. But really impressive when you consider that they're facing a 3rd and 14, and they managed to get Long open up.
With this caliber of personnel, was Their championship teams back in, I think, 75 and 76. If we can, after the game, we'd like to try and bring you the comments briefly of Coach Dwight Fike, that we're able to get hold of him before he scampers into the locker room. I know it's very cold and chilly out there, and it wouldn't surprise me if they keep the post-game congratulations to a minimum. The kickoff is fumbled by Bryant and picked up. Nice little run back here. One man to beat. He's knocked down at midfield.
That's 42, Jimmy Johnson.
So the Hornets will have it at the 50-yard line with a minute 19 to work with.
Johnson did a good job of running that ball back. He got some good blocks in front of him, too, which really made the difference.
Well, the Hornets have one last chance here. Operating out of the shotgun now. Gordon going to the air, completes the pass. It's Brian Brady across the way. Looks to have enough for the first down.
Number 7, Stan Carson, making the tackle for Benton.
Clock stopped to move the chains, a minute 12 to go. Gordon looking to pass again. Going long. Flag down.
And he got it.
Pass was completed anyway. Double coverage down there by the Panthers. They interfered with him, but still couldn't keep him from catching the ball.
That was number 88 for Bryant, who caught the ball.
So the Hornets coming back in the air here on 2 plays. Gordon sending 3 men out. It's incomplete. The man was open. That's Brian Brady across the way. In and out of his hands. It'll be second down. 53 seconds to go. Gordon looking to pass into the end zone. Is it complete? The fans roar their approval. It'll be third down, I guess. Third down after the completed pass. It's down inside the 5-yard line. They couldn't stop the clock. We've got 30 seconds to go here. Gordon gives off on the Statue of Liberty type play. And now the clock is stopped. I think Brainerd using his last timeout with 24 seconds. They're 4 yards away or thereabouts from scoring here. And Gordon is hit, and that'll do it. The Panthers got in there quickly that time. Corey Hill and others.
Ryan Callahan, kind of a fitting end for their regular season.
Benton will take over and can kill the clock. We've got under 20 seconds now. All they've got to do, the Hornets, they may not even get off a play. They're not going to try and snap the ball. They can just let the clock run out. The Panthers already starting to congratulate themselves, and we congratulate the Benton Panthers on an excellent season. Again, we say they are 7-3 on the season, finishing third behind Texarkana and El Dorado in the Quad A South. Bryant will finish at 4-6, and so for the 10th time in this series between these two teams, the Benton Panthers win the Battle of Saline County. Again, our final score here from Bryant is Benton 12 and Bryant nothing. We'll be back right after this. Back here at Bryant Stadium, where the Benton Panthers have advanced to the state playoffs with a 12-0 victory over the Bryant Hornets. And with us is Benton head coach Dwight Fite. And Coach, must be very satisfied to come away with the victory before the game. Of course, in this kind of weather, any team could win. It's just a matter of how the ball bounced.
That's very true. Bryant played great, but I'm a happy man. I've got some tremendous coaches to work with, and I've got some great young people to work with, and I'm excited about getting to do what I do. And I just, when you see some guys that worked hard like ours have and accomplished this, it's a great feeling, even knowing at the same time these guys from Bryant have practiced just as long and worked just as hard, and I certainly feel for them at this time, and I know they're heartbroken because this is, in Saline County, this is the game. It's a big game.
What were your thoughts as you approached the stadium here tonight and saw what kind of field you're going to have to work with? What were your feelings? I'm sure it made you change your entire game plan.
Yeah, well, I'm really not smart enough usually to have a game plan. You know, I just come in there and whatever it seems like we're doing good, that's what we try to do. And I guess I approached this with about the same amount of stupidity I do most of them. You know, I came on and we started trying to do what we could do and had enough, I don't know, brazenness or I'd hate to call it courage, but we did have enough something to throw the football some, and that helped us. But with Tommy Jumper, I'm not afraid to try much of anything because Tommy's not going to do something that's going to get you in trouble. If you call a pass and it's not there, then he's not going to do something to get you beat or get you hurt. So I'm pretty confident in what we try to do with Tommy.
So this is 10 victories out of 13 tries against Bryant. I think in this series now, you've pretty well, Benton has dominated this series here in Saline County. And again, it's a big game for the fans. I was very impressed with the number of people that turned out for this game despite the torrential rains we've had.
That's amazing. And had it not been for the rains, you'd have seen standing room only. It'd been a tremendous crowd. And the interest is still there. The people have the advantage of watching it on TV and hearing it on the radio. And so I know they do that.
Okay, now 2 final questions. Number 1, I know you want to compliment Corey Hill. He surpassed the 1,000-yard mark tonight in the game, and I believe I was told he had about 125 rushing on the evening. He was your main attack.
Yeah, he probably was tonight, and a lot of times he is. Brian Callahan, as our other halfback, is a tremendous blocker and really a tremendous runner in his own right, and Brian often catches the ball. We throw quite a bit to him, and it's those two guys are both really unselfish, and they both block for each other, and that's been a characteristic of our team, I think, and it's just hard to single out a guy, and really our team is the star, and that's what makes it such a great thing. You know, when it comes down to individuals, it's not really as exciting to you as it is when you think about all the guys pulling together, and that makes for a great team.
We saw Ken Burnett go out with an injury. Is he going to be okay?
Yeah, Ken's okay. He just got a bruised thigh muscle. Ken's going to Oklahoma tomorrow to see the Sooners play Missouri. They're real interested in him, and I'm excited about that. I think we're going to have several guys get to play college football, and we'll get to see some more action.
In that regard, we were tipped off a moment ago maybe that the University of Arkansas might be showing interest in Corey Hill. Is there any validity to that?
It's pretty valid. I think they're probably interested in Corey and Brian too, and Kent. I think anybody Oklahoma's interested in, Arkansas is probably interested in. So I think they're all 3 major college prospects, and they're all 3 high-class people and high-class players.
Now, you finished 3rd in the conference, advanced to the playoffs. Who can we look for you maybe to go up against next week? I know you have to wait and see the results tonight, but who are you thinking you might play?
My guess is Springdale. I think that'd be the most logical guess. Now, we're hoping we're going to finish in a tie for 2nd. I hate to pull for El Dorado. I guess my good friend Coach Bill Reed at Texarkana, but if they get beat, we'll tie for 2nd, but that won't help us in the playoffs, but it'll help our feelings anyway.
Well, great season, Coach Fite. I know the Panthers are back now, and we just wish you the best in the playoffs.
Well, it's kind of you to say that, and we appreciate the interest you've shown in our program.
Coach Dwight Fite has been our guest as Benton defeats Bryant here 12-0. We'll wrap it up right after this.
Hi, Ron Sherman at Rod's Pizza.
Tonight we wrap up the regular season of the '86 high school football season, traveling to Bryant for the game between the Benton Panthers and the Bryant Hornets. Bryant hasn't been a Class 4A school all that long, and this series does not date back more than about 12 years. In fact, I believe this is the 13th meeting between these 2 Saline County schools. But it has developed into a big rivalry. We've had some great matchups earlier in the season. Most recently when Arkadelphia traveled to Malvern. We saw what a great game that was. and last week Texarkana and Hot Springs. Well, these two are natural rivals. They're both in the same county. They're both in the same conference. There's a lot at stake tonight. Unfortunately, head coach Dwight Fite of Benton couldn't be here. It's a big practice day for the Panthers, but he sent his assistant coach, Les Davis, to join us and talk about tonight's game. Coach Davis, thanks for being with us tonight.
My pleasure.
Now, as I understand it, you coach the sophomores over at Benton,
Right.
and you've been there how many years now?
This is my 6th year, and I coach the sophomores, and the sophomore program's been over for about a week, so I'm the only coach that's really got time to miss practice right now because I don't have a whole lot of duties right now.
But it's a big game. There is a conference or a playoff berth at stake, as we said, so I know the coaches are trying to put those finishing touches on practice before the big game.
Well, there's no doubt about it. If both teams were 0-9, it would be a big game. But when you take two tied records in the conference and put that together with a playoff berth and put it the last game of the season in ideal conditions, it is a big game for both teams, no doubt about it.
Certainly, and Benton's on the road back up now. We noted that earlier when Coach Fite visited with us before the Arkadelphia game. You'd opened, I think, with 2 or 3 wins in a row, and then, of course, lost to Arkadelphia and have gone on to lose to El Dorado and Texarkana. But hey, those aren't embarrassing losses by any means. Those are 2 very good schools and programs. There are 3 playoff berths available in the 4A conference, so you can still continue your season with a victory tonight. How have you approached the game this week?
Well, you might think that with a game of this magnitude, you would put together a whole new plan and do everything different and put in a lot more emphasis here or there. But if you were to do that, you would be saying to yourself, well, we didn't do everything that was necessary to be done earlier in the year. We weren't. So really, actually, preparation hasn't been a whole lot different. Same routine, same practice methods, just a little more enthusiasm and by the coaches and a little more anticipation of this game because it means so much. Probably the biggest game at Benton in the 6 years that I've been there. And so it's not a question of what you're doing different. It's just maybe the way you're approaching it with a little more fire in your eye, a little more emotion, a little more dedication possibly.
How is the team entering this final playing date injury-wise? You have everybody healthy or you have some significant injuries?
We've got everybody in pretty good shape. We don't have any injuries. That was one of the things that was real important to us coming out of the El Dorado game. We want to play the #1 team in the state, and we played them well, and felt like we did well against them, but we didn't want to come out with any injuries. Couldn't afford to, and that was we played them competitively, and we came out healthy, and we're real pleased to be able to go into the Bryant game tonight with all of our better players ready to play.
After seeing your defense play the way it did against Arkadelphia, though you lost that ball game, I thought you might have a chance against the Wildcats. What was your assessment of El Dorado? Do you think they're one of the best teams in Arkansas?
Well, El Dorado has the tools to beat you in a lot of ways. They have a good defense. They have a lot of talent. They have potential for the big play. And you can take certain things away from them, but they have all of the tools that great teams have. They can hurt you in the air. They can hurt you on the pass. They can hurt you with good defense. And we felt like we played them real well, and we're real competitive. We'd like to have about 4 plays back, but you know, that's what happens when you play big teams and the teams that are good. You let down a little bit here, and they'll take advantage of it.
And what about Bryant, coached by John Brainerd, who also couldn't be with us today to talk about his team? What do you expect from the Hornets?
Well, I expect the Hornets to play the best game of the year against us. They always do. Historically, they have always been up for the Benton game, played at the top of their game. They're a team with good size. They're as bigger than we are. They have a big fullback and a good young passer, and they have a strong defense. And they'll give us a lot of looks on defense. They'll be stunting some people here, and they won't line the people up in the same place a lot of times. They'll be bringing some people aggressively, and they'll give us some real problems, and they'll play hard. There's no doubt about it.
Now, Coach Davis, you were telling me before we went on the air that you, I believe, were at Bryant before you came to Benton. So, do you have any mixed emotions about the game?
I was at Bryant for 2 years, about 6 years ago, and I have a lot of emotion, but no mixed emotion. It had
devotion solely for the Panthers.
That's exactly right. In fact, it may mean more to me to be the team that I used to coach for than it does just anyone else.
All right. Well, listen, best of luck. We just hope for a good game, regardless of who wins. Again, both teams 2-2, deadlocked in conference standings. The winner goes on to the playoffs. The loser ends its season after tonight's game. So we just look forward to having a great game.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it will be a good competitive game.
Coach Les Davis, assistant coach of the Benton Panthers, has been our guest on Coach's Corner. I'll be back in just a moment to look at the scoreboard and update you on tonight's schedule.